the bottom line.
And the truth shall set you free.
Welcome to The Bottom Line with Steve the Truth Nugent, along with his co-host, Harry Claring and Rick Morris. They cover everything from high school to the pros and everything in between. If it's sports, they've got it right here. Now, let's take you to Steve the Truth with The Bottom Line.
All right, we are live. What should I say? Live at the studio that we are the newly studio that we have. Of course, I am Steve the Truth. Thanks so much for joining us today. I got the man, the myth, the legend that is Mr. Harry Clary. How you doing today, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing great today. It's not raining today. That's one good thing that's going on.
Not yet. When we came in, it's getting pretty dark out there.
Yeah, well, it can rain after the show.
That's right. And of course, the entertainer that is Rick Morris. Rick, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing fine. We sent our aunt back to California this morning. We're going to miss her, but I hope we'll see her again soon.
Yeah, let's hope so. And of course, we all had lunch today.
Yes, we did.
At one of our proud sponsors, K&L Barbecue, located at 1410 Maple Street, right there in Cavalier Square. And Harry, you had a half a rack of ribs.
Yeah, I did, and I tore them up completely.
Yeah, and Rick, of course, you had the barbecue sandwich mince with coleslaw. How was it?
It was great.
Yeah, that place is a proud sponsor of the Bottom Line Sports Talk Radio Show, and we thank Linda and Kenny very much for being the sponsor. And, of course, a lot of people know that we're moving on to ESPN 106.1 Richmond starting in August 2nd, on Sunday morning from 9 to 10. You'll be able to hear us there. It's going to be great. We're looking forward to it. But the lunch we had today, Harry and Rick, was with David G., owner of WHAP 1340 AM and 96.9 FM, which we just left from doing a show for, I guess, a year and a half.
Yeah.
And your thoughts on David? Well, that's the first time I've seen him in a long time. Of course, I used to be the general manager of WSVS and Crew and the owner of WHAP back in 2010 to 2015 or so, 2016. And that's the first time I've seen him since. He looked like he was doing pretty well.
I haven't seen David G. in a long time. He looked great. He looked healthy. And it was great to see him.
Yeah, it was. Rick, I guess that's the first time you got a chance to meet him.
Yes, it was.
And like I said, I'm not putting his business out there, but he was a very successful businessman in his younger age. He's successful now as well. But he did run for state senate in the state of Florida back in the day. And he did create a logistics program for trucking and sold it for quite a few dollars. And if you get a chance, you could just Google him, and if you're watching, if you want to know who we're talking about, and it'll show you there. And Buddy was there as well, Buddy Hall from the Bluegrass Morning Show, and then Keith Hall was there with the Bluegrass Barber, and then when the Baby Boomer Hasty, he was there as well. And it was great seeing all them guys.
It was. It's a shame we couldn't get all those WHAP people that we worked with over the years, but there wouldn't have been enough room in K&L.
No, it wouldn't have been. Yeah. And like I said, I had the Wingdings, which was great, and it was great seeing them. And like I said, they made the announcement today that they will be selling WHAP along with WSVS with Rick's partner in crime, I guess, on Elixir, the band that you play in. Brandon, he's currently the manager.
Yes, he's the manager
at WSVS, and he'll be moving on to bigger and better things as well.
Yep.
He's such a young man. He's got a lot of ceiling ahead of him.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yep. And of course, if you're, like I said, you're joining us on our YouTube page, the Bottom Line Sports Talk Radio Show, we want to thank you for doing that. And of course, we'll be soon on ESPN 106.1 Richmond. And we want to give a shout out to Ligon Jones Insurance for jumping aboard with us. They signed a deal with us last week, so we got a new. They're going to stay on board with us, leaving from one radio station going to another. So I want to thank Andy Clark for doing that as well. So, like I said, if you look to advertise with us, be sure to give me a call at 804-698-0754, and we'll be sure to get you on video and on Radio and on YouTube channels. And like I said, 3 different networks that we will soon be on. And want to thank them for that. So, all right, Harry, news of the day, buddy. News of the day. Adam Vinatieri became perhaps the greatest kicker in NFL history by making some of the biggest kicks the game has ever seen. And you agree?
Yeah, I remember the one where they took the snowplow out and carved a little place so he could kick that winning field goal at the end.
Against the Oakland Raiders. That was the Tuck Rule game.
It sure was.
And he won a couple Super Bowls during his distinguished 24-year career with the New England Patriots and the Colts. Vinatieri became one of the most clutch performers ever at his position. He is the most known for his New England playoff performance, including the winning kicks in Super Bowl, I believe that's 39 that's 36 and 38. And joining the Colts as a free agent in 2016. And back then, that was a big deal when he left Indianapolis and went to the Colts, because that was Eli Manning versus Tom Brady in the AFC. And he left one team, went to the Colts, and then continued his legacy with a run with Indy in the Super Bowl campaign that season in 2006.
Right, and the Colts had Vanderjack before that.
That's right. And Peyton Manning didn't care much for him at the time with some of the things that he was saying and some of the stuff where he was showing up late.
And missed the field goal by about 30 yards wide right.
Yeah.
He said everybody in the opposing team blew at the same time and blew the ball out of the.
Yeah. Vinatieri converted 14 field goals in that postseason, including 5 in the divisional round win over the Baltimore Ravens and 3 in the Super Bowl win over the Chicago Bulls. And, of course, that was in the rain, and that was played in Miami. So he will be a reason why we're talking about it. He is scheduled to be enshrined. Well, he is enshrined to the Pro Football Hall of Fame next month. He'll get in August. He'll be put into the Hall of Fame, and then on Wednesday they announce he will be inducted to the Indianapolis Colts Ring of Honor. He becomes the 21st person to associate with the franchise that will receive that honor on October 18th. The Colts game against the Tennessee Titans.
And if I'm not mistaken, he's one of the oldest players to ever play.
Yeah, probably 24 seasons. That's a long time.
Yeah, not many people play 20.
Yeah, and then a little closer to home, the headline news of the day in baseball, Major League Baseball, Justin Verlander, who played his high school ball, Goochland, and he was 3-time Cy Young Award winner and 2-time World Series champion and MVP award. And what could be a Hall of Fame career, and he has announced today that this is his last season.
I feel so sorry for him. No money and. When these guys
Poor
are getting
guy.
out of there, I'm thinking, oh boy, he's not going to make this $20 million this year.
Yeah, the 43-year-old Verlander will make his 10th All-Star Game appearance this week. Well, next week is the All-Star Game after being named the legend pick by Major League Baseball Commissioner on Wednesday. Has 266 regular season wins with 3,554 strikeouts in his 21 years in the Major League Baseball. And he's the active strikeout leader right now in all of baseball.
Wow, that speaks for something right there.
That's active. And that's the headlines of the day. Get you ready for a show that we're going to bring you here very shortly. We're going to talk about the top 10 pass rushers in the National Football League and where they rank. And you'll be surprised by some of them, but most of them, you should know who number 1 is.
It's got to be Myles Garrett. But I think one thing that is not a surprise is 2 out of 10 are going to be from Houston with that great defense.
Oh, you're exactly right. And with that, and like we do every time during this time of our show,
It's time for
On this day in sports history.
With Harry Clary. Brought to you by Hourglass Realty, located at 11801 Center Street, Chester, Virginia. And now, here's Harry.
All right, on this day in sports history, July the 12th. And we were just talking about this guy, Cy Young, 1901. He wins his 300th baseball game. He must be pretty good to have a Cy Young Award named after him.
Yes, he must be.
So that doesn't surprise me. I don't know how many games he won total, but on this day he had won 300. 1930, Bobby Jones wins his 4th U.S. Open title in golf. That's a name that most of us don't know, but it was recorded, and we hear about him now.
I think it's a trophy named after him as well.
Oh, golf. Yeah. 1949, the L.A. Rams signed Norm Van Brocklin. Now, I don't remember him playing, but I do remember when he was coach.
Oh, yeah, I do that.
I believe it was Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and in 1954, Major League Baseball Players Association is founded.
All right.
In 1979, here's one that I vaguely remember. They had Disco Demolition Night at Comiskey Park. Fans go wild, destroying disco records.
I remember that.
And it causes the White Sox to forfeit both their games of the doubleheader that day.
And it was due to a radio station promotion, I believe it was.
Yes, it was. And they were playing the Detroit Tigers, and they had to forfeit. Okay.
What year was that again?
That was 1979.
1979. I was 8 years old, and I remember that. And remember, and then of course ESPN replays it every so often, and they're burning records in the middle of the field, and people were everywhere.
Yeah, they've got a bunch more records to burn, as far as I'm concerned. 1989 on this day, Yankee pitching great Ron Guidry retires. He had 170 wins, 91 losses, and a 3.29 ERA, which is pretty good. Michael Jordan in 1996 made most of his money doing commercials. Steve, he didn't have one of the biggest contracts in the NBA until 1996, and he signed a 1-year, $30.1 million contract. And now we have birthdays. On July 12th, 1936, Frank Ryan, quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, was born. 1956, Mario Soto, baseball pitcher for the Cincinnati Reds, was born on this day. And in 1971, figure skater Christy Yamaguchi. Say that 3 times real fast. She was born 1971, and that does it for On This Day in Sports History and birthdays on this day in sports history.
She is now the same age I am. 1971. That's the year I was born.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Y'all look a lot alike, too.
Yeah, and that's On This Date with Harry Clary, brought to you by Hourglass Realty Group, one of our proud sponsors. Want to thank Keith and Mandy. Of course, they're staying aboard with us, too, as we make the new venture on to 106.1 ESPN Richmond on Sunday mornings from 9 to 10. You can check us out. Of course, if you're listening to the show or watching the show, feel free to text our hotline, 804-698-0754, and let us know your thoughts. With that, we're going to take a break. It is just about 15 minutes past the hour, I guess. Should I say 19 minutes past the hour? And when we come back, we're going to break down a little bit the pass rushers in the National Football League. And Harry hinted who's number one. That's Myles Garrett. But the one thing I'm looking at right here on my notes, Harry, is he's with the Los Angeles Rams.
They want to win.
And I believe the other pass rusher may come back out of retirement.
Yeah.
Aaron
Was Donald.
Aaron Donald. So that would be a big deal for the Rams. Of course, they came up one game short of going to the Super Bowl last year, and they're keeping their quarterback Stratford as well. So the Rams looking pretty good. With that, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk National Football League right here on ESPN 106.1 Richmond.
K&L Barbecue at 1410 Maple Street, inside Cavalier Square, Hopewell. Wants you to know they have great specials on the daily menu, such as hamburger steaks, grilled chicken, a lightly fried chicken sandwich, and of course, the best chicken and dumplings in the Tri-Cities. And don't forget about their world-famous barbecue and sauce. Dine in or carry out at K&L Barbecue. Call 458-4241. That's 458-4241 for K&L Barbecue.
I just want to encourage everybody listening today. Your health matters. Your peace matters. You don't have to settle for feeling exhausted, stressed, or just stuck wherever you are. God gave us everything we need. Simple, powerful gifts from the earth to support our bodies naturally. It's not complicated. It's not overwhelming. It's just about taking one small step back to what He originally intended. You deserve to feel amazing. And natural solutions are really closer than you think. It's just a text, a phone call, or a stop by Carr Brothers away.
Start your wellness journey today. Reach out to Tony Carr Hathaway. She's been waiting for you. Text wellness to 804-212-8571.
Looking to sell, buy, or invest in real estate? Let Keith and Mandy guide you through the journey of homeownership for years to come. In business since 2007 as multi-million-dollar producers, they specialize in residential and commercial properties across Richmond, Chesterfield, the Tri-Cities, and surrounding areas. Call 804-712-0188 and visit them at 11801 Center Street in Chester. They're online at hourglassrealtygroup.com.
Hi, this is Andy Clark with Ligon Jones Insurance Services. We're proud to give back to our community by supporting local youth sports and encourage you all to get out and cheer for your team. We're a local independent agent representing Erie Insurance and several others. Give us a call at 804-458-8522 or stop by our new location at 5392 Prince George Drive, Suite B, and let us show you what old-fashioned customer service feels like. We can be your insurance concierge and save you money. www.ligonjones.com.
And that's the bottom line. And the truth shall set you free.
Now let's get back to the bottom line with Steve the Truth Nugent, Harry Clary, and Rick Morris.
All right, we are back here at the studios, the K&L Barbecue Studios, and we want to thank you for joining us right here on the Bottom Line Sports Talk Radio Show YouTube page, and soon to be on ESPN 106.1 Sunday mornings from 9 to 10. I'll get it out in a minute. August 2nd. Check us out. It's going to be great. Now, of course, before the break, we did say we were going to break down the top 10 pass rushers in the National Football League, and we're going to start with number 10, which is Nick Bonito, and he plays for Bonito.
Right, and you know the interesting thing about pass rushing is there are so many rules against the defense now that a lot of teams are spending all their money on offense. They're not spending too much money on defense, so the pass rush is very important because the less time the quarterback has to throw the ball, the better the safeties look, the better the corners look, the better the linebackers look. So the pass rush has become very, very important in football. So this is kind of an important segment.
Yeah, and with this top 10 that they've been doing over several years, he is the only pass rusher to make his top 10 debut this year with a close race with Cleveland Jarrett Verse for the 10th spot. Starting in 2023, sack totals climbed from 8 to 13.5 to 14.0. And a little quote here from one of the team's evaluators, he's got maybe the best get off in the league so far as getting off the line of scrimmage headed to a quarterback. And, of course, he's a Denver Bronco, and we all know that the entertainer that is Rick Morris is a Denver Bronco fan.
Go Broncos.
That's right. So that was number 10. Of course, number 9 is Brian Burns, plays for the New York Football Giants. Put together, all together in 7 years, finished second in the league with 16.5 sacks on his way to a second-team All-District All-Pro nod. The sack total was the highest by a Giants player since Jay Burns, 31 quarterback hits in 2025. Of course, Burns was a top 10 selection the past years before falling to honorable mentions in 2025, and he is back in the top 10. Your thoughts of Brian Burns and the New York Giants defense?
Well, I tell you what, the Giants are a fun team to watch. Jackson Dart is a fun guy. Scatterboo's a fun guy to watch. And they've got a pass rush. That's something that you have to have. And I believe the Giants are going to move up this year. I think they're probably going to finish third in the division and do much better than last year.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Now, moving on to number 8 is the San Francisco 49er, Nick Bosa. Several voters acknowledged that Bosa would still be in the top 5, of course, if healthy, torn ACL. Bosa is the first 49er with multiple 15-sack seasons in 1982 with 64.5 career sacks. Bosa is the third player in the Niners' history to surpass 60 sacks marks, joining Brian Young with 89.5. And remember this name? Charles Haley. Of course, his daughter lives right here in Richmond. Well, used to live right here in Richmond. I'll tell you a little story about Charles Haley while we're talking about it. I was there.
Hey, this is a family show, Steve.
It is. Back in 1991-92, I was dairy and frozen food manager at Winn-Dixie on Laburnum by the racetrack. And he came into that Winn-Dixie because his daughter lived in the area, and that's where I got to meet Charles Haley. And like I said, when he was standing in line at the register area, he overtopped, you could see him all over everybody. He was a big guy and a great football player as well to go on to win, 6 Super Bowls between the 49ers and the Cowboys.
When Dallas acquired him, he put them over the top.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
the pass rush was very important then also.
And speaking of that, you just had a trivia while we were at break, and your trivia was when did the
clothesline or the head slap? Or
yeah. When did the unnecessary roughing pass that came in 93?
Let me see. I have all that information right here.
Yeah, and Harry was talking about they did it because of the Dallas Cowboys back in the early 90s winning the Super Bowl.
That was when they cracked down on celebration.
Mm-hmm.
Taunting.
Taunting penalty, yeah.
Right. Let's see here. I wrote down.
Prime Time was on that team back in the day. Deion Sanders. And like I said, all of them back then, I kind of liked the celebrations after the Super Bowl.
Taunting started in 1993 because everybody got tired of watching the Cowboys celebrate so much.
That's exactly right. Yep, and that's Nick Bosa. He comes in at number 8 on the top 10 pass rushers in the National Football League headed into 2026. Number 7, of course, a Pittsburgh Steeler. Everybody would know who he is, and that's T.J. Watt. He's the sizable fall for Watt, 3-time sack king who logged back-to-back number 2 rankings over the past 2 years. Watt missed 3 late season games in 2025 with a partial collapsed lung due to an accident during a routine dry needle incident at the team's facility. But his passer rate in 14 games was 11.7%, the lowest among all pass rushers this year.
Yeah, and I think T.J. Watt is a lot like Nick Bosa. If you put the players that are the best in the last 5 years, both of those guys would move further up towards number 1. Mm-hmm. But we're just doing it for this year.
Yeah, we're only doing it for 2025. And, of course, you did say before the break that the Houston Texans had 2 guys in the top 6. And Danielle Hunter for the Houston Texans. This year's voting served as an appreciation of sorts for Hunter's career, not a major factor in the past year's voting. Hunter gathered top 5 votes on more than half of the ballots this time around. One of the best power rushers of all time, an NFC executive said.
Well, you see, he's motivated. His parents gave him a girl's name, made him mean as the Dickens. You know what I mean? It worked for him. He channeled it into some positive energy.
Like little boy Sue.
Boy named Sue, that's right.
Boy named Sue. Y'all all musicians, of course.
Hey, I know all that. I know all about parents naming you something that people will make fun of.
Meaning's the man, the myth that is Mr. Harry Clary. Yes, folks, that is his real name. And coming in at number 5, the Detroit Lions, of course, over the past couple of years, they have been in the playoffs and been able to reach the playoffs, but not been able to get over the hump to get to that ultimate Super Bowl that they have never been to. And Aiden Hutchinson, of course, unique skill set, makes him a steady climber up the boards, similar to Anderson, of course. Last season, Hutchinson ranked second in pressure, 63, third in quarterback hits, 35, tied for second in forced fumbles with 4, and fourth in sacks with 14.5. It was a complete performance coming off a serious leg injury that cost him more half the 24 campaign. Your thoughts about that? He played 250 snaps.
Right. I remember when he got injured, and you could see that it really did slow him up. But when he's 100%, he's one heck of a football player. I know this. I heard him sing Billie Jean a cappella in front of his team. He got the whole team going.
Oh, yeah.
And he nailed it.
Yeah, now that's good, positive. Like I said, that's number 6. I mean, that's number 5. Now we're headed into the top 4. If you're just joining us right here on the bottom line, I am Steve the Truth, along with Harry Clary and the entertainer that is Rick Morris. We're breaking down the top 10 pass rushers headed into 2026, the National Football League. Of course, this segment is brought to you by K&L Barbecue, where we had lunch at today. And talking about number 4 in K&L Barbecue, Max Crosby of the Las Vegas Raiders. And voters who value a complete game, relentless play from the start to finish, Crosby's very high, and he is focused. I mean, when he's on the field, you can see it. It's all or nothing out there.
I vote him the scariest looking pass rusher in the NFL.
Yeah, this is one quote from an NFC executive. He is a bad mother. That's the quote. Versus the run and the pass and whatever. He is a pain in the ass of all game. And that's what you want to be. And that's a quote from an NFC executive who goes on and votes on these things. And, Max Crosby is a beast.
He almost got traded.
Yes, he did. He almost came to Baltimore. Baltimore would have.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, because with Harbaugh leaving and the new guy coming in, that defense is, we don't know what to expect.
I can't figure out why they didn't pull the trigger on that trade.
Well, they did it. He failed the physical, so he got sent back to the Raiders.
Okay. I did not know that.
Yeah, so that's what caused they said, hey, because he's hurt, so they were going to use him toward the end of the year, but once they found out that the injury, I think, was made a little bit more severe than what it should have been or what they thought, so they sent him back to the Raiders. All right, staying on our list here, number 3, another Houston Texan, Harry, William Henderson Jr. Henderson's steady improvement over the 3 seasons elevated him to the top tier. He was tiered with Las Vegas Max Crosby in the voting, but won the tiebreaker by getting 5 top 5 votes. That's how they broke the tie between Anderson and Crosby. They were tied in more votes in the top 5 than he had. Of course, he reaches havoc all with Houston. Houston's defense is arguably one of the best defenses in the league. That's why they made the playoffs, I believe, the last 3 years and won a game. Like I said, C.J. Stroud is doing okay. We talked about him last week on the podcast. And your thoughts on Anderson with the Houston Texans?
Well, he must be great. They've ranked him number 3. And having 2 guys that are that great of a pass rusher, what do you do on offense? How do you stop that?
Remember last year they went 0-3 and they made the playoffs. The Houston did, and they got it together. And like I said, it was close in that playoff game, but the AFC right now, I wouldn't say Kansas. Well, I'd say Kansas City, but depends on when Mahomes comes back coming for 2026. But the best teams in the league right now in the NFC, the Rams, the Seahawks, without a doubt.
That's who I have number 1 and 2 myself.
Yeah, and then the Baltimore, Buffalo's in front of them right now, Houston. So, we're going to talk about that over the next couple of weeks, too. Best team right now going into 2026. Best roster going in. If you want to see that, you can go on ESPN.com, and they got one set up there now with the best team. I think it was posted today with the best teams 1 through 32. And I believe my Dolphins were 32nd.
Oh, my goodness. But I'm going to say watch out for Houston this year. They picked up Montgomery.
Oh, yeah.
I think they want to win. And if C.J. Stroud has any kind of year at all, I'm going to crown them a playoff team right now.
Yeah. Well, they should make the playoffs for the 4th year in a row, I believe. And I have to check that stat if you're listening to us. But I think it is 3 years in a row that Houston has made the playoffs. Number 2. Big trade, one of the biggest trades last year in the National Football League, from the Cowboys to the Packers. Micah Parsons. Parsons is so good on the field that he jumped a spot in the ranking despite suffering an ACL tear in December. The tape is that good. Parsons he did really, really well. Parsons is one of 5 players in the National Football League to record at least 65 sacks through their first 5 seasons, joining the likes of Derek Thomas, T.J. Watt, J.J. Watt, and Reggie White. Now, that's some company to be in right there. Number 2 is Mark Parsons.
Well, I tell you what, Parsons has had some great seasons at Dallas, but I must say, after the trade, I'm going to have to say Dallas has won that trade so far.
Yes, Dallas has. So far, yeah. And we'll see. Of course, we thought Green Bay was going to put them over the top last year. Of course, all 3 quarterbacks, I believe that's won a Super Bowl for the Green Bay Packers, won it when they were 27 years old. And that was Brett Favre. That was
Aaron Rodgers.
And the very first 2?
Bart Starr.
All won the Super Bowl at 27. And last year, the quarterback,
27.
He was 27 years old, but came up a little short, the Green Bay Packers. And I apologize if I keep putting my paper in front of this video if you're watching. I am so sorry. I know the man behind the glass over there is probably telling me, put it down.
Yeah, we're human, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep. But the number one pass rusher in the National Football League for 2025, or should I say headed into 2026, is Myles Garrett. Yes, the helmet-throwing Myles Garrett is number 1. And he was traded in the offseason to the Los Angeles Rams, and I think he's going to be much happier. He's going to have a chance to compete at the highest level for a championship. Of course, leaving Cleveland, divisional championship is something that he would want, I would think. That's one reason why they made a trade. And he was a clean sweep. Of course, he was Defensive Player of the Year this year as well, with a NFL record, 23 sacks. And more impressive, he had 33 tackles for loss. He was in the backfield all day.
That is amazing. He's a Superman.
Yeah, of course, he has a strong hold on the voting the last 2 years. Last year, his banner season, he doesn't get enough credit for just how powerful he is and how you feel that up close, as the NFL coordinator says. Everyone talks about Aaron Donald's power, but Myles is just as strong. And we talked about a little while ago, Aaron Donald, if he comes back and if he's in shape, hey,
that's going to be too much.
Yeah, that's going to be exactly too much. It could put him over the top against Seattle, but we'll have to wait and see. That NFC West, that team, that got all good teams in it. The top 3, I guess.
Well, it's funny. I was talking to your son-in-law about these type of subjects about, when we're predicting. What's so funny is ESPN is ESP. Yeah. So we're making predictions, right? Well, JB was saying, yeah, Harry, all that's fine, but there's injuries involved, and there's no way you can predict what's going to happen with the injuries. And I think he's exactly right about that.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Anything can happen on any given play.
You can be on top of the world and have the rug pulled out from under you the next week.
You're exactly right. Well, with that, that's our top 10. And like I said, if you want to check that out, it's on ESPN.com. And check that out. And it goes in even further with the honorable mentions and different stuff as well. But we're going to take a break, Harry. And when we come back, yes, it's about time. We're going to talk fantasy football in July because it's right around the corner. And, of course, you and I both play fantasy football in a couple of different leagues. So we're going to talk about 12 players who will bounce back this season.
We hope.
We hope. One of them, the top one, I believe, is, of course, Mike Evans, who got traded to the San Francisco 49ers. I think he's really going to bounce back from leaving Tampa Bay. And, he's all he does is what? Score touchdowns.
That's right. I can remember before Brady got there, I was telling Ron Bell, a friend of ours that's passed away, I said, I believe Evans is one of the best receivers in the game, and if he ever gets a quarterback, he's going to prove it.
Yeah, and he's been Mr. Consistency as well on the field. With that, we're going to take a break. You're listening to the Bottom Line Sports Talk Radio Show right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
K&L Barbecue at 1410 Maple Street, inside Cavalier Square, Hopewell, wants you to know they have great specials on the daily menu, such as hamburger steaks, grilled chicken, a lightly fried chicken sandwich, and of course, the best chicken and dumplings in the Tri-Cities. And don't forget about their world-famous barbecue and sauce. Dine in or carry out at K&L Barbecue. Call 458-4241. That's 458-4241 for K&L Barbecue.
I just want to encourage everybody listening today. Your health matters. Your peace matters. You don't have to settle for feeling exhausted, stressed, or just stuck wherever you are. God gave us everything we need. Simple, powerful gifts from the earth to support our bodies naturally. It's not complicated. It's not overwhelming. It's just about taking one small step back to what He originally intended. You deserve to feel amazing. And natural solutions are really closer than you think. It's just a text, a phone call, or a stop by Carr Brothers away.
Start your wellness journey today. Reach out to Tony Carr Hathaway. She's been waiting for you. Text wellness to 804-212-8571.
Looking to sell, buy, or invest in real estate? Let Keith and Mandy guide you through the journey of homeownership for years to come. In business since 2007 as multi-million-dollar producers, they specialize in residential and commercial properties across Richmond, Chesterfield, the Tri-Cities, and surrounding areas. Call 804-712-0188 and visit them at 11801 Center Street in Chester. They're online at hourglassrealtygroup.com.
Hi, this is Andy Clark with Ligon Jones Insurance Services. We're proud to give back to our community by supporting local youth sports and encourage you all to get out and cheer for your team. We're a local independent agent representing Erie Insurance and several others. Give us a call at 804-458-8522 or stop by our new location at 5392 Prince George Drive, Suite B, and let us show you what old-fashioned customer service feels like. We can be your insurance concierge and save you money. www.ligonjones.com.
And that's the bottom line. And the truth, you'll set you free.
Now let's get back to the bottom line with Steve the Truth Nugent, Harry Clary, and Rick Morris.
All right, we are back here at the K&L Barbecue Studios, and we want to thank everybody for joining us today. And, of course, I am Steve the Truth alongside of Harry Clary, the man, the myth, the legend that is. Mr. I've been in fantasy football for
25 years.
25 years. So it's a lot of history. And you won several championships, and it's not just like you're playing.
Several.
Yeah. Give him a little. He has won quite a few. I've only won 2, and I got trophies for both of them. I won the Ronnie Bell League that is now. I won in 2016. And then back in the day, I won the Prince George Extreme League with the Chapels, and that was 2009. I did go to the Super Bowl against Ronnie Bell one time, a good friend of ours, and had a big lead at halftime. And he had Peyton Manning, and he didn't play till 4:30 that day.
He had the Broncos.
Yes, he had the Broncos.
That big year.
Yeah. So he came back and beat me, and that was a lot of fun. And, folks, if you're just joining us and may not know who we are, I am Steve the Truth Nugent. I've been in radio for 28 years, I guess, now, and throughout different places. And we do talk sports. Like I said, we talk sports for 28 years. And if you're just joining us or just finding us, Harry Clary's been in radio, too, for over 28 years. And Rick Morris is an entertainer, and he plays in the band Elixir that's really well known around the area here in the Richmond Tri-City area. and we all came together to do a show, and here we are.
Yes, and Rick has also done blog radio and TV before.
That's right, and television, yep. He sure has. And so we just wanted to let you know, if you're just joining us, that's who we are. And, of course, if you want to send us a text if you're listening anytime. I mean, if you're watching the show on YouTube at 2 o'clock in the morning, 804-698-0754, and let us know your thoughts and about the show, and see if, let us know. That's 804-698-0754. And just as we promised before the break, we will talk fantasy football, 12 players who will bounce back this season. And Harry, I said it before the break, Mike Evans, who was traded to the San Francisco 49ers in the offseason, he was picked 7th overall in the 2014 NFL draft, top 1,000 yards receiving as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer as a rookie. Then he did it again the next year, and for another decade. He had 11 consecutive seasons with 1,000 yards receiving.
That's very difficult to do.
Yes, and with the different quarterbacks that he has played with in 11 years.
And he has a good one now.
Oh, yeah, he's with Brock Purdy, and should help him out a lot there in San Francisco. And, of course, it all ended in year 12 when 1st September hamstring injury, several games, and broken collarbone removed him from active duty for another 6 games. This may or may not be an injury typical for a 32-year-old wide receiver, but he's a future Hall of Famer without a doubt. And going to San Francisco, I really think that's going to help him out coming off the season that he came off of if he's healthy. Somebody that you would keep if you're in a keeper league, or somebody you would draft early.
I would take a chance on him. I think he's worth a chance, even though he's up in age. 49ers have a lot of iffy stuff going on. Brock Purdy is not the biggest guy in the world. He gets hurt sometimes. And McCaffrey has had a few injuries himself.
Yeah, and like I said, as you said, the fellow now plays with 49ers. The fantasy managers will be questioning because he is on the team with McCaffrey, as you said, and Brock Purdy. But if Brock Purdy's throwing him the ball, I really think he's going to be productive.
Oh, when Purdy is healthy, he's on.
Yeah, and Brock Purdy, another solid option to bounce back, averaged more than 4,000 yards passing for the 23-24 season before missing a chunk of 2025. With Evans healthy now, McCaffrey was the only 49er to catch 60 passes last season. The running back led the team in passes.
Well, he normally catches a lot of passes.
Yeah, so just going to take some of that away from him where they can get the ball downfield.
And I'm sure he don't mind long as they get down the field.
Yeah, and like I said, fantasy football is so frustrating because you pick somebody and then you think they're going to do well, and it's just, drafting is the same way. And
well, I know how to make your players on your fantasy team play extraordinary in 1 week. I know exactly how to do it.
All right, what is that?
Trade them.
That's exactly right. As soon as you trade them, they're going to bust
They're going to bust it, I'm telling you.
Yes, that's exact, folks. If you play fantasy football, you know that is the truth. Okay, Kyler Murray with the Minnesota Vikings, the quarterback. You think he could have a breakout season? I think he could if he's the starter for Minnesota. I know JJ's there, but I think they're really trying to get Kyler Murray to be the starter.
Well, I think they know that the offensive line didn't do too good last year, and JJ got a little beat up. Yeah. So they need somebody that can buy time with their legs, and Kyler Murray may just be the person to do that.
I wonder if they got a clause in his contract like the Cardinals did, where he's got to watch at least 4 hours of film a week.
And not play video games at halftime.
You're exactly right.
Boy, we were saying that at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. But Minnesota, like I said, we'll have to see. And you see that sometimes. Well, the Super Bowl winning quarterback, Sam Darnold, was at somewhere and then went to Seattle and won the Super Bowl.
Right. And Carolina didn't want him. Minnesota didn't want him.
Yeah.
But he you got to understand he only won about 14 games.
Yeah, a season. Not in his career. He was 14-2 or whatever.
Minnesota said, sorry, we need you to win 17 here. We're going to have to let you go. We're going with JJ this year.
Yeah. And then they go out and pick up Kyler Murray, and that's another team that has somebody they're paying pennies per se, $1.5 million to him because the Cardinals is paying most of his salary. So they have nothing to lose to give him the chance to play. And Kyler Murray, like I said, I like his style. Fantasy-wise, he should be of great value.
He may be the perfect guy for them because he's the guy that can come in and play pretty good. Like I said, buy time with his legs. He throws a good long ball. And not only that, when you get in a position like Kyler Murray, he knows he has to play well this year to stay on the team and to stay the starter.
Yeah, and it says it right here. Be sure to – he's quite of a bargain in the fantasy draft if you can get him later in the rounds. Of course, don't judge it on his 2025 season with the Cardinals. The franchise was in disarray last year. So, he only played 5 games and a foot injury, and the organizer wished him to shut him down. And in 2024, Murray played in all the games and finished in fantasy football at number 10 quarterback. So, yeah, if you can't get none of the big guys like a Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson or even a Jalen Daniels, he's looking to bounce back this year, too, at quarterback for the Washington Commanders.
That's another guy that will probably bounce back from last year.
Yeah, and we were talking in the break. The Houston Texans, this whole show seems like we really like Houston's team. The defense is one of the best in the league.
They're undeniable.
And if David Montgomery can come in there and run the ball, he's 29 years old, rushed for more than 1,000 yards and scored 13 touchdowns for the Detroit Lions in 2023. So if he can retain that, being that productive, he's one you need to watch. That somebody bouncing back is David Montgomery.
Absolutely. He is a power runner, and he's pretty quick, too.
He's 230 pounds. That's huge as a running back.
I wouldn't want to tackle him.
No, I wouldn't either. Once caught 54 passes in a season. That's when he was with the Chicago Bears in 2020. And, of course, like I said, if they can get him the ball, if CJ can get him the ball, I think he's going to be a bounce-back player in fantasy football.
Absolutely.
All right, White, running back for the Washington Commanders. This is
right.
second
He
one.
used to be with Tampa Bay, right?
Right. Yep. He's 27 years old, quite productive in 2023 with the Buccaneers, and he moves on to a new home where he should earn ample time and plays in the game. So, your thoughts about White coming to Washington, and I think it's going to help out Jalen Daniels a lot.
Oh, I think he will too. I drafted him in fantasy football, and I've also picked him up at times. If he's healthy, he's going to help the Commanders out a whole lot. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, they're always going to be the Redskins to me.
Yeah, I call them the Redskins all the time.
Right. No harm intended. That's just I'm one of these old guys. I've heard it my whole life. It's hard to get people to change after they called something for 60 years.
Yeah, and 2023, he was number 8 in fantasy points. So he can do what he needs to do if he can get some playing time and be healthy.
Yeah, I drafted him right after that, and he didn't quite do any of that again.
Yeah, all right. We got a couple more to go. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll finish up our top 12 fantasy football players who will bounce back this season. You're listening to The Bottom Line with Steve the Truth, featuring Harry Clary and the entertainer that is Rick Morris, right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
K&L Barbecue at 1410 Maple Street, inside Cavalier Square, Hopewell. Wants you to know they have great specials on the daily menu, such as hamburger steaks, grilled chicken, a lightly fried chicken sandwich, and of course, the best chicken and dumplings in the Tri-Cities. And don't forget about their world-famous barbecue and sauce. Dine in or carry out at K&L Barbecue. Call 458-4241. That's 458-4241 for K&L Barbecue.
I just want to encourage everybody listening today. Your health matters. Your peace matters. You don't have to settle for feeling exhausted, stressed, or just stuck wherever you are. God gave us everything we need. Simple, powerful gifts from the earth to support our bodies naturally. It's not complicated. It's not overwhelming. It's just about taking one small step back to what He originally intended. You deserve to feel amazing. And natural solutions are really closer than you think. It's just a text, a phone call, or a stop by Carr Brothers away.
Start your wellness journey today. Reach out to Tony Carr Hathaway. She's been waiting for you. Text wellness to 804-212-8571.
Looking to sell, buy, or invest in real estate? Let Keith and Mandy guide you through the journey of homeownership for years to come. In business since 2007 as multi-million-dollar producers, they specialize in residential and commercial properties across Richmond, Chesterfield, the Tri-Cities, and surrounding areas. Call 804-712-0188 and visit them at 11801 Center Street in Chester. They're online at hourglassrealtygroup.com.
Hi, this is Andy Clark with Ligon Jones Insurance Services. We're proud to give back to our community by supporting local youth sports and encourage you all to get out and cheer for your team. We're a local independent agent representing Erie Insurance and several others. Give us a call at 804-458-8522 or stop by our new location at 5392 Prince George Drive, Suite B, and let us show you what old-fashioned customer service feels like. We can be your insurance concierge and save you money. www.ligonjones.com.
And that's the bottom line. And the truth, you'll set you free.
Now let's get back to the bottom line with Steve the Truth Nugent, Harry Clary, and Rick Morris.
All right, we are back here. And of course, if you're watching us here on YouTube, hello to you. And of course, anytime you'd like to text the show, 804-698-0754, give us a text. And we'll try to get that mentioned on the air as well. I am Steve the Truth, alongside him, the man, the myth, the legend, that is Mr. Harry Clary, and the entertainer, that is Rick Morris. And before the break, we were talking about top 12 players that's going to bounce back this year in fantasy football for the National Football League. And, of course, now we're moving on to Jonathan Brooks, running back for the Carolina Panthers. Brooks, only 22 years old, and isn't like any other running back mentioned here. In fact, there's a few players. In fact, there are few players like him. He's aiming to bounce back after his college days at Texas, and he produced more than 1,400 yards from scrimmage, and he tore his ACL at Texas, but now he's at his rookie season there with the Carolina Panthers. And, of course, Harry, your thoughts on Jonathan Brooks, Carolina Panthers?
Well, like you said, he got the injury. He is a great back, but he's got Chuba Hubbard in his way. Mm-hmm. And Chuba Hubbard is somebody that the Panthers have been almost like they're trying to get rid of him, but they can't because everybody gets hurt every time. And Hubbard ends up doing pretty good.
Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah.
You're talking about names in the last segment. Yeah. His real name is Harry Clary, and his real name is
Chuba Hubbard. But if they can find the balance between Brooks and Hubbard and use them accordingly, they could be a great two-headed monster, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's going to, like I said, look for him to break out. Of course, you got your fantasy drafts coming up in less than a month. I know some people do them in the middle of August. We usually do ours the week before.
Too many injuries and too many things can happen if you do it that early.
Yeah, in the preseason. Yep. So ours is usually like the 26th, 28th of August, there toward the end of August. So we still got some time. And, of course, DJ Moore, you may not know, he is a Buffalo Bill now. And, of course, he was one of the favorite targets with Caleb Williams in Chicago.
That's right.
And so what do you think he's going to do with Josh Allen?
Well, Josh Allen's only had a few really good receivers, and looks like Moore is going to be one of them. He did well at Chicago with Williams, you know. Mm-hmm. I think he should do even better with Josh Allen, I would think.
Yeah, I think he's going to be real productive. Moore's 29 years old, comes off a rough 2025 season in which he caught only 50 passes for 682 yards. And Moore flirted with 100 yards receptions during the 2023 and 24 campaign. I'll get it out here in a minute. And, of course, last year came up a little short. Josh Allen will form an instant and productive duo with Moore, and when he got a couple other wide receivers there in Buffalo. So,
well, Buffalo's got really good tight ends, and the addition of Moore, they should do very well. Buffalo's got a really good offense this year.
Yes, they do. Terry Lauren, the Washington Commanders. Of course, he held out 2 years ago, got signed, and then got hurt last year a couple of times, didn't play a full season. I look for him to bounce back. Of course, what we said earlier, the quarterbacks, Jalen Daniels, looking to bounce back, and they have to do it together to make it work.
He was my number one pick in the Dirty Dozen League last year, and I was a little disappointed. But I hope he does better this year.
Yeah, he had 5 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons up until last year. So he's
when I drafted him.
When you drafted him, it's exactly right. Yep, and of course, Daniels played 17 games. If Daniels plays 17 games this year, I think that duo will be right at the top in that division with Dallas, Washington, Dallas, Philadelphia, and the Giants. So, and then last on our list is Chris Godwin Jr., the Buccaneers. He's 30, returned for his 10th season, and with expectations in the fantasy world seeming quite low, a serious leg injury, got him in 2024, but he looks to bounce back this year. Your thoughts on Chris Godwin and your thoughts about Tampa Bay?
I think Tampa Bay is going to be okay. I know they lost Evans, but and I'm going to say Godwin is a little bit up there in age, but you know how the NFL is if you get injured or if you don't get injured. And I think in his case, if he doesn't get hurt, he's going to have a very good season.
Yes, I think so too. And then a little mention here, Marvin Harrison Jr. with the Cardinals. I think he's going to have a bounce back year. And I don't think the Cardinals are going to be the greatest team.
And he's got Brissett throwing to him this year, which I think will be better than Kyler Murray.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I think quick fantasy tip for everybody: Brissett to McBride is going to be a good combination this year. The tight end.
The tight end for the Arizona Cardinals. You're exactly right. We only got a couple more minutes to go of the show, and like I said, we want to thank you for listening today. And, of course, we want to thank all our sponsors, K&L Barbecue, Hourglass Realty Group, Ligon Jones Insurance. I want to thank them. Tony's Oily World. And Tony's Early World. And we're going to have to that's going to do it on the show. I'm not sure how he's going to edit that out.
1-0.
I'm really not sure how he's going to edit that out. But we want to thank the man behind the glass, that is the entertainer, Rick Morris. Of course, he is the guru that makes us sound great and makes everything go. And with that, I guess we can go ahead and close the show. But
don't forget J.K. Dobbins coming back.
J.K. Dobbins coming back to the Denver Broncos?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, he needs that.
Yeah, and that's another two-headed monster. You got R.J. Harvey, who scored 12 touchdowns last year.
Mm-hmm.
So him and Dobbins should be a great combo.
Yeah, I think, like I said, we want to thank you for joining us right here on our YouTube channel. And like I said, come August 2nd, you can hear us Sunday morning at 9 o'clock from 9 to 10 right here on ESPN Richmond. So be all throughout the Tri-City and the Richmond area, and really looking forward to it. And like I said, we want to thank all our sponsors again for joining us. And like I said, if you're listening to the show, watching the show, should I say, on YouTube, 804-698-0754, give us a text and let us know your thoughts. With that, for Rick, the entertainer, that's Rick Morris, and Harry Clary, I am Steve the Truth. We'll see you next time right here on The Bottom Line, right here on ESPN 106.1 Richmond.
And that's the bottom line. And the truth, you'll set you free.
Thanks for tuning in to The Bottom Line with Steve the Truth Nugent, Harry Clary, and Rick Morris.